Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along the Spiritual Journey. So, it does not take a lot to be a considerate person. I know it might seem like a lot because of how society treats each other, but being a considerate person literally just means you have to just take the time and the moment to make a few extra steps. That's it. I don't know why most people complicate it. I'm not sure why it's become so complicated and convoluted, but consideration just means you can think about something and see how you feel and say, you know what, I probably wouldn't want to walk into that situation. Let me clean this up a bit so that the next person who walks in, it makes it a little easier for them. Again, I'm not sure where society fell off with this one, but it is one that is lacking. I mean, here's an example. I live in an apartment unit, right? Plenty of open parking spaces. Someone decides to put a trailer hitch there. It never moves, it just sits there. Every weekend, you see people coming and going and like just trying to park, and that one extra spot can be used for someone. But this person chose to just put this piece of equipment there and leave it. In my mind, I'm like, there's so many spaces around the parking lot that aren't dedicated for parking that they could put it, but they choose to put it in a space because they feel entitled to. I'm not upset about this. I just laugh at it because I've been in the situation where I'm like, now that person, no, they could have set that thing over there and let people use this space. But in their mind, there's some level of entitlement. So they're like, no, I deserve to use this space because I live here. To me, that is weird. That is weird to go out of your way to make something complicated because you feel you deserve it for others. When I look at how others are experiencing life, I don't like to feel like someone has to be lost just because someone didn't give them a simple answer. I don't like people feeling like they have to feel challenged just because someone else decided to make it a challenging situation. I feel that life itself is challenging enough. We don't need others going around perpetuating things that make it so much more difficult to just exist. Littering, that's another one. I don't understand littering. I really don't. Put it in your pocket until you get next to a garbage. Find a garbage. I don't get it. I live in a city where people just throw garbage out of the window and then they complain about the garbage, and I'm like, you're the problem. You are literally the problem, and you don't take consideration into how you're treating the environment, and then it then infects other people's environment, and then people complain about things. It takes you, boo. I don't care how many people tell you, no, I'm just one person. It takes one drop of water for the ocean be the ocean, right? It takes one drop of rain for it to drop down into a thunderstorm. Please be the example. Don't be the one who follows people and does it because everyone else is doing it. That is so lame. That is so outdated. I'm sorry. That's one of those things where I just can't hold it in, where it's like you wake up every day to be bitter because you were taught that being bitter is easier than being happy. Do you know how many people literally go out of their way to tell me that I'm too happy? I don't seem real. Happiness can't be this easy. It's not. It's a discipline. It takes work. It takes work to take myself into consideration to say, hey, being upset about this ain't gonna make it better. Sometimes it's good to vent. Sometimes it's great to feel like, yes, I deserve this moment and I'm entitled to this moment. To each their own. But once that moment is past, don't drag it on. Don't make it linger. Don't make it worse for everyone else just because you feel you deserve that moment. The moment's over. Move on and move out, right? It's just something that I've always noticed where the littlest things in society, like, again, cleaning off your table if you're at a restaurant. Yes, there's waiters and bussers and servers, but if you know that there was a line that you waited for and you were just like, what's taking so long? Well, the buzzer has to do extra work because somebody decided to pour water on the table and break up a bunch of random food and bread everywhere and throw stuff on the floor. Instead of just being considerate while they're eating, watching where your mouth is, they decide to make a mess. Now, this makes a bottleneck of energy for others to experience because one or two or a few people decided to not be considerate. It is so easy to be considerate. I promise you, life is so much easier when you take the time to care. I don't care how long this earth has been going on, and I don't care how long the history of our people have told us that we're supposed to just commodify or conform. I believe in making new products. I believe in making new energy because we are these multifaceted beings who understand that we have the capability to use empathy, to use discretion. It's a choice. When we talk about free will, that is the free will of this journey. See, we talk about destined paths, and people are like, well, how is it free will if it's a destined path? Every path leads somewhere. Every road leads somewhere. Just like the road to Disney World is the road to Disney World. That's a destined path. It is your free will to decide how you get to that path, right? Unless there's one path, then it's now your choice and free will of how fast or how slow you get there and the stops along the way. What you take into consideration is how you then create the reality that exists for you. It's the same thing when people say, I'm having a bad day and I'm having a bad moment, I had a bad life. Fine, so be it. This is possibly true. But at the end of the day, if you are still able to live and breathe and tell the story, then you are able to be considerate enough to change the narrative. It doesn't take much energy, but it does take time, and it does take respect of self to understand that if you do that, then you show others how to respect. And then you show the environment how you love, respect to get, and it gives back to you. Because no matter what, no matter how long we create and create and create, there will always be another wave of energies that come through and tear it all down and build their own thing. But the thing that I've learned about us now and the history that we've been learning through friends, family, TikTok, all that, is that there's so many things that were set into place that were into our consideration, and then history happened where people came along and decided to dismantle that consideration because of greed, because of feeling like they deserve something, that entitlement I talk about. I don't have to worry about it because somebody else is going to have to worry about it. This is how we get to this place in the world where people are so disconnected from their own emotions, and people are so disconnected from community because they don't know what community is. Community is taking care of each other and showing up for each other and not blaming each other, right? So if you want to be a considerate person, do it. Stop waiting for people to tell you how to be a good person. Just be a good person. Everyone knows what a good person is, so please don't pretend you don't. When you choose to act out of spite or pettiness, that's a choice. When you choose to act out of empathy and understanding, that's a choice. At the end of the day, how you consider either one of those options is again going to tell you the path that you're going to take, and it's going to dictate the life that you create. All right? Love ya.